Hello, welcome to another review. This one is the second book. This one is called Color Workshop, a step-by-step guide to creating artistic effects by Rachel Reinhardt. I saw this book from another YouTuber named Colourwithclaire, if I'm not mistaken. I will put her link in the About section. So if you want to actually watch her video also, which is fine. I'm just gonna flip through it so you can see what this book is also about. Now, I did a book before this one where it focused more on one particular coloring page and talking about how to do a step-by-step on how to color that page. This one, totally different than that. So let's get started. Again, the pages have a glossy texture. Now, this one's a little bit different. Here's the introduction, obviously. And it also lists her personal website. Shows a picture of who she is. And this one goes more in depth in chapters. It's only 4 chapters. So this one has less chapters, but more content. The first chapter is called The Color Studio, and it deals with all these different types of mediums. Then it says Exploring Color. It talks about color wheel, color schemes and harmonies, choosing dynamic color combos, and creating a mood. Chapter 3 is the colorful techniques, and then it breaks it down to color pencils, pastels, gel pens, watercolor and water-soluble pencils, markers, and then creating artistic effects, comparing mediums, mixed media techniques, which is something I'm interested in nowadays, and then working with color step by step. And it goes all into this whole section from page, I would say page 39 maybe, or page 40, all the way to 55 for colored pencils. Then you have a small section for gel pens, then combining the two, and then more. So yeah, it's more in depth, I would say. And then you have a couple of practice pages in the back. And here's more on the introduction. I absolutely fell in love with this book. I love her shading, her techniques. I love this whole thing is very pretty. I like how she did her own color wheel. I like how she did these little leaves with all these different colors and stuff. So then you have your basic techniques here. It shows you what it looks like. I'm sure when she did it, you could actually see. You can actually see it on her page better, but you get an idea of what it looks like. And then colorless blender, white colored pencil, and petroleum jelly. Then you have pastels, gel pens, water soluble and watercolors, markers, So here on this page where she talks about blending with petroleum jelly, she lists the supplies of colored pencils that she used, her petroleum jelly, blending stumps for the little corners, the tight little areas, possible, not necessary, several cotton swabs, a pencil sharpener, and a spare sheet of paper. And then she used what's called a scumbling and a layering, which is listed on page 29. So the good thing about this is that she lists her reference points for you to go and look in her book to find that particular technique if you want to try it. And then here she gives you a guide step by step on how to do it. Now this is something I've been wanting to try, the stippling. I'm not sure how to do it, but I see that she's used gel pens from what it looks like. Yeah, she used gel pens. I think I only have the silver star and the white. I would have to get the gold one to do it. So this is something I'm definitely going to look into. Wish me luck. Now this is another thing that some people have also been wanting to learn how to do, which is creating water drops on there. So that's a good thing that she teaches you how to do it step by step on the page actually. And she advises to practice creating rain droplets on a separate sheet of paper before adding them to your coloring, so that way you can, I would think, to get the right shape that you're looking for. Oh, this is very pretty actually. I do like this, the way it came out with the water droplets. Now this is something I struggle with, and I'm sure a lot of people struggle with this, is like a background, which is the night sky, I would say. It's very hard to create something like that. So I'm assuming she used artist Pitt pens, black fine and black bold. And yeah, so that's how she did the coloring for that. Okay, so yeah, she outlined the background of the picture and then colored it in with the pen. Okay, now here's an interesting tip. She suggests that if you're coloring on a very thin paper with a very different brand of pen, she suggests layering a black colored pencil on the background before you fill it in with the black pen to create a barrier that will protect the paper from bleeding through onto the other side. So that is something good to notice. Okay. So this is, like I said, is a very helpful book. I really like it as I'm going through it. So this is my first time actually going through this book with you guys together. There was going to be a fourth book, but unfortunately the book is only currently available in South Africa and it's way too expensive to ship. I was told for one book alone the shipping was like almost $61, and I'm like, it's just not worth it right now at this point in time. The artist is trying to work on getting a distributor here in the United States, so hopefully, you know, in the near future she'll get one and production for that book will be ready. So anyway, back to this one. Sorry, that was just a side note. The challenge for everyone. Coloring skin and hair. So there actually is an entire section on it. Now, what I'm noticing that she does in this particular one, not only does she use Prismacolor colored pencils, she also used Winsor & Newton brush markers. So she blended two types of mediums to do the skin. So that's something to look into as well. And the same thing with the hair. Her tip for the face says, remember to leave the white on the paper empty for the highlights, and then try to work fairly quickly when layering markers because they dry fast. Yes, this is very true, and you'll be left with a lot of streaks. Here we go. We have some crystals here, but she uses watercolor for. Okay. Watercolor is another thing that I've gotten into lately, so I would be looking forward to doing something like that later on down the road for sure. And that is the end of the book. Here is a list of the resources that she uses, I'm guessing, for in the book, or tells you where you can buy it at. And this is the index. And then here are your practice pages. I would suggest photocopying these and copying and then printing them, so that way you don't ruin them from the book, because they are on the back of each other. Unlike the other book that I showed you before, those pages were only one-sided, so that was the benefit of that one. So all the images that you saw in the book come included in the back of the pages, with some extra ones, it looks like, for extra practicing. Or maybe all of them are in here, I'm not quite sure. But that is the end of the book, and that is the end of the review. And here's the back. And she also has these 3 coloring books that she does. All right, have a good day.